The announcement of the Queen's death was made on Thursday, September 8, by presenter Hugh Edwards. Since then, BBC News specials have dominated the schedule, giving viewers continuing coverage of the events which have followed since her death. However, Sunday night will see the schedule return to normal just 3 days since Her Majesty's death. Over the last 3 days, many programs were axed and scheduled for a later date, ensuring the rolling coverage of Her Majesty's passing, and the proclamation of King Charles III. The first schedule shake-up happened on Thursday afternoon when a statement was released from Buckingham Palace to reveal the Queen was under medical supervision. Programs were interrupted by a breaking news broadcast to share the statement with viewers. Later, a further announcement was made at 6:30 p.m. by Hugh confirming the Queen had died at her home in Balmoral, saying, "A few moments ago Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and the Queen Consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow." Since the news, BBC One has been airing national and regional news programmes between shows which have included Picturing Elizabeth, Her Life in Images, Elizabeth, the Unseen Queen, and When the Queen Spoke to the Nation. Throughout the day today, there has been rolling coverage as the Queen was moved from Balmoral to Edinburgh, Holyrood House. Tonight, BBC One will see special editions of Songs of Praise, Country File, and Antiques Roadshow. However, from 8 p.m. onwards, normal programming will resume with the first episode of Frozen Planet 2. The long-awaited documentary series, narrated by Sir David Attenborough, returns after a decade since the first installment. David Attenborough has teased in the trailer the series explores Earth's frozen habitats, where life finds a way not just to survive, but to thrive. Frozen Planet 2 will then be followed closely by the 5th episode of The Capture at 9 p.m, before the final episode on Monday. Also returning to its usual programming will be BBC soap EastEnders, as viewers have been awaiting the return of Alfie Moon, played by Shane Ritchie. Alfie is set to return to Walford on the wedding day of Kat Slater, Jesse Wallace, and Phil Mitchell, Steve McFadden. Despite the schedule returning to normal, BBC News will continue to keep the public updated throughout the week as the time draws closer to Her Majesty's funeral on September 19. The Queen's coffin will remain in Edinburgh until midday on Monday, with King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla joining to travel with the coffin. On Tuesday, her coffin is set to be brought to Edinburgh Airport, where Princess Anne will accompany the Queen as they travel back to Buckingham Palace before being carried to the main bow room. From Wednesday to Monday, her coffin is set to be placed on a raised platform in the middle of Westminster Hall until her funeral. The funeral is expected to take place at Westminster Abbey in central London, with plans for her coffin to process on a gun carriage to the Abbey, pulled by naval sailors. The service will be televised, and a national 2-minute silence is expected to be held, with the Queen's final resting place will be the King George VI Memorial Chapel, where her mother and father were buried, along with the ashes of her sister, Princess Margaret. Philip's coffin will move from the Royal Vault to the Memorial Chapel to join the Queen's.